There was once a little boy named Arman who lived in a small, quiet town. His father had passed away when he was just a baby, and his mother worked tirelessly day and night just to earn enough to buy food. Arman went to school in old, faded clothes and shoes that were torn at the edges. The other children laughed at him, made fun of his smell, and called him a beggar. Arman never said a word back. He simply looked down at his worn-out shoes and stayed silent. One hot morning, while walking to school, Arman saw a boy sitting by the roadside. The boy had no legs. He was watching other children run and play in the dust. Arman stopped and looked at him. The boy looked up at Arman's feet and smiled softly. "Your shoes are nice," he said. Arman looked down at his torn shoes, then at the boy's empty legs, and for a moment his heart felt heavy. Something deep inside him changed that day. That night, Arman couldn't sleep. The boy's words kept echoing in his head. For the first time in his life, he felt grateful. He had legs. He could walk. He realized that maybe he wasn't as poor as he had always thought. The next morning, when his classmates mocked him again, Arman smiled and replied, "At least I can run. Some children cannot." The laughter suddenly stopped. The boys stared at each other, not knowing what to say. From that day on, Arman never felt ashamed again. He started helping his mother more, studied harder, and began working after school. He sold newspapers, cleaned shoes at the railway station, and saved every small coin he earned. He never begged for help. Instead, he gave his best every single day. One evening, while shining shoes, a man in a suit asked him, "Why are you doing this instead of playing like other kids?" Arman looked up and said calmly, "Because I want to build a life where no one laughs at others just to feel strong." The man didn't say anything, but he gave Arman a generous tip and walked away silently. Years passed. Arman kept studying, working, and dreaming. Whenever life pushed him down, he remembered the boy with no legs, and that memory filled him with strength. One summer, when the sun burned fiercely and the streets were empty, Arman stood outside a small store he had just opened. It wasn't just a flower shop. It was the first outlet of his lifestyle brand, Bloom Empire, offering flowers, books, candles, gifts, and handmade items made by poor families. He invested every rupee he had saved and borrowed some money too. People laughed at him and said, "Who opens a business in this kind of heat?" But Arman stood there every day, sweat on his forehead and hope in his eyes. Slowly, people started coming, first for the flowers, then for the kindness in his voice. Word began to spread about the young man who once polished shoes, but now sold inspiration. In a few years, Bloom Empire grew across every major city. Then came online sales, then international orders. Arman traveled to other countries, gave speeches, opened schools, and helped poor children start small businesses of their own. Today, Arman is the CEO of a global company. His brand supports over 5,000 poor families across the world. He wears fine suits, travels by plane, and speaks on big stages. But in his glass office, there is one special thing: his old, torn shoes. When people ask why he keeps them, Arman smiles and says, "These shoes remind me that success is not about where you start. It's about what you choose to believe. Don't wait for perfect tools. Build with what you have. You may be poor, but you are not empty. You may be small, but you are not weak. Even in the hottest sun, a flower can rise, and so can you." Success doesn't always come from money. Sometimes it begins with a single moment, a moment that touches your heart and wakes your soul.